Good, happy Wednesday morning and happy hump day, everyone. I'm Riley King and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. Let's get started. Video released of officer-involved shooting in Hopkinton. Let's take a look at the video from WMUR News 9, Shelley Walcott.
So if anyone has a reason that these two should not be wed, speak now.
So sorry.
Oh, no.
It's just that your friend Daryl here is supposed to be live streaming the wedding, and he's not getting any service.
I missed like the whole thing.
What?
And I just got an unlimited plan.
It's the right plan, wrong network. See, Verizon has the largest, most reliable 4G LTE network in America. It's built to work better in cities. Tell you what, just use mine.
Thanks.
No problem. All right, let's go live. Say hi to everybody who wasn't invited.
When it really, really matters, you need the best network and the best unlimited. Just $45 per line for 4 lines.
Well, Tom, the new video and still photographs were obtained from the cell phones of private citizens. No footage of this incident was captured by police body cameras or cruiser cameras. Vermont resident Brian Evans was pulled over in Hopkinton on May 19th. Now, investigators say he refused to show his hands, then quickly pointed his hands at them as if he had a gun. Officers opened fire and Evans was shot in the leg. Here's the witness video.
Did he just shoot up?
He tried shooting at something.
Now, Evans got back into his car and drove a short distance before he was stopped and was arrested. He was charged with receiving stolen property, unauthorized use of a propelled vehicle, and disobeying an officer. The Attorney General's office has already ruled that those officers' actions were justified. Live in studio, I'm Shelley Walcott, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. "78-year-old dead after truck commuter rail train collide." Let's take a listen to this video from WCVB Boston.
Time outside and at the beach. I'm Dr. Barbara Masser, emergency medicine physician at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. Find out how you can have fun in the sun while staying out of the emergency room this season at wcvb.com/health.
Truck was literally cut in half when it was hit by this commuter rail train. In fact, it is still up on the tracks here. The damage is just unbelievable, and sadly, the 78-year-old man behind the wheel has died. Several witnesses tell me the driver blew right through the gate, which was down at the time. There were 10 passengers on board the train. They were not hurt. A couple who actually witnessed this told me the driver never even attempted to stop. Many people came rushing out of their homes and their businesses to help. A nurse was the first one to call 911, but tells me it was very apparent there was little she could do to help.
Immediately called 911, and when I ran over there, one of the gentlemen who had already been standing there had said that they needed something to cover him up. There was nothing that could be done. The car was just, there was nothing left of it.
It was like smash. I jumped up, looked out the window, saw smoke, ran out, smelled it. You could smell the rubber or something. It was a mechanical smell, you know. Ran down, saw that, just drove right through. Didn't stop. I don't know what was going on. I heard it, ran, and that was it.
Again, just an awful sight here in Abington when a train slammed into a pickup truck on the tracks, killing the 78-year-old man who was driving. Witnesses tell me again, it appeared he never stopped, never even slowed down. We're live in Abington.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Charges against Portland Black Lives Matter protests expected to be dropped. Bearing a last-minute filing from prosecutors, charges against 17 Black Lives Matter protesters could be dropped today. In May, a judge denied a motion by the Cumberland County District Attorney's Office to reinstate charges against the 17 protesters who were arrested in July of 2016. The group, a protest last summer after black men were killed by police in Louisiana and Minnesota. The 17 protesters were charged in obstruction a public way. A plea deal between the protesters and prosecutors fell apart when Deputy District Attorney Jennifer Ackman said protesters violated conditions of a restrictive justice meeting by demanding to gather as a single group. The judge rejected the prosecution's request to restore the charges against the protesters. In his decision, Judge Lawrence Walker said the state agreed to have the defendants participate in a restrictive justice meeting, and it has an obligation to make it work. Walker also said protesters are obligated to fulfill the terms of the agreement and take part in the restrictive justice meeting. Chipotle's recent norovirus outbreak was the result of sick policy enforcement. Chipotle's Mexican Grill recent norovirus outbreak in Virginia was the recent result of sick policy enforcement by store managers, the company confirmed on Tuesday. What's next in the Senate healthcare debate? Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News. And sorry about that, we do not have a video for you about this. Despite all the activity on the Senate floor Tuesday, including a standing ovation for recent cancer-diagnosed Senator John McCain, Republican from Arizona, who flew back at the last minute to cast the decision vote, the chamber only passed a protocol measure to move forward and kick off debate on the repeal and replace legislation that the House passed back in May. Now the work begins. Over the next few days, senators will introduce amendments changing the House version and decide the final text of the bill they will vote on and try to pass. After the vote Tuesday to move ahead to debate, Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican of Kentucky, introduced two possible amendments that would swamp out House tax entirely and replace it with new language. And there you go on that report. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday and see you back here later on today. Goodbye, everyone.